explosiveness when he has Benitez on the ropes, you have to feel that Benitez has done the better job counterpunching off those ropes and landed the cleaner shots.
It seemed as if Benitez got warmed up about midway through the second round, and since that time, he has controlled the tempo of this fight.
And in the third was when he started counterpunching well, when he backed up against those ropes and really started counterpunching, and that's when, since then, Moley's had problems.
We want to remind our local stations that at the end of the round, we'll be taking a 1-minute local commercial break, and we have 1 minute left in the 9th round.
This has actually been a better round for Moley. He might be slightly ahead in this round, but whether that's enough to get him the fight, even to win these last two, we'll see. Benitez still counterpunching fairly well, though.
On my card, I've got Benitez winning 5 of the last 6 rounds. In fact, 6 of the last 7.
Now, I've got him ahead 5-2 and 1 even, so I agree with you that he is ahead in this fight by a pretty good margin. And there's the jab, so effective in the last 4 or 5 rounds, and the lead right.
So based on our scorecards at any rate, Kevin Moley needs a knockout to win it.
And now Benitez backing Kevin Moley up, and I think if he could do that, Wilfred would really be effective. And you see Moley slowing down discernibly here toward the end of the round.
He's breathing from his mouth, the telltale sign in boxing that he is tired. And we'll be right back with more boxing from Madison Square Garden right after this word from our local station. This is the 10th and final round. From Madison Square Garden, Wilfred Benitez. On the comeback trail, apparently successful based on our scorecards at any rate. Kevin Moley apparently will taste defeat for the first time, barring a knockout.
That would be our view of the fight. Now, the judges may be looking at it differently, but certainly it appears that Benitez has counterpunched so well. He used the jab, the straight right hand, and there's the combination punches.
Well, then the question becomes, Al, if in fact the outcome of the fight is as we expect, what does this mean for Wilfred Benitez in terms of his comeback, and where does that take him?
Well, it's a very solid effort. I'm not sure what it says to boxing observers because Kevin Moley was untested. So Benitez would certainly still need a win against a more solid contender before anybody would be willing to admit he's in title contention. But this was an important first step if he continues on here and wins this fight.
The storyline we established from the outset was what did Kevin Moley have and what did Wilfred Benitez have left? Moley has plenty of heart, some skill. Benitez still has some left.
And I think this was just too tough a step for Moley. He's doing what some people think Lonnie Smith will be doing in our main event, our championship fight, stepping way up from fighting journeyman fighters. And I think that has been his biggest problem. When people look at Benitez, they will know at least that he has shown some of the same skills he showed when he was in his prime, and for him that's got to be heartening. Boy, Moley now, he just knows he can't hit Benitez on those ropes. He's still trying, but it's been so difficult.
That must be enormously frustrating for a young fighter like this who has knocked out 19 of his 22 opponents. And on his way to landing punches, and suddenly Benitez isn't there anymore.
Well, it's been a story of lots of fighters. Duran had that problem. Carlos Palomino had that problem when he lost the title to Benitez. So I guess if there's any solace to Moley, he's not alone in that fight.
He's in pretty good company. 45 seconds left in the fight.
Kevin Moley should take from this fight, though, some valuable lessons.
There was one knockdown. It came just 20 seconds into the first round. And Moley decked Benitez, although Benitez protested the decision of Joe Cortez, but Cortez's ruled that, in fact, it had been a knockdown prevailed, and that was the only knockdown of the fight.
And it's a good thing in this fight to refrain from snap judgments, because that could have led you to believe that Benitez was, in fact, through, but boy, he's come back well.
And so now we'll wrap it up, the final 10 seconds of this fight. Wilfred Benitez and Kevin Moley, and it's over. Both corners, as usual, are happy about the outcome. But Emil Griffith, the old middleweight champion, with that chrome dome, lifting his fighter And we would tend to agree that he was, in fact, the winner of this fight. Certainly, if the faces of the two fighters are any indication, Benitez is the winner. He is unblemished, virtually. Moley's both eyes, in fact, are swollen. The right eye was cut from the second round on.
And I think basically this was a victory of skill over determination. Kevin Moley is not a bad fighter, and as you said, he does have some skills. He was very willing, young, in good shape. But Wilfred Benitez came here to fight the kind of fight that he has fought in the past. He was very skilled as a counterpuncher. He was a good boxer, found the jab when he needed it in about the third or fourth round, and simply outboxed Moley.
And we'll be right back with the decision after this. Well, Billy Costello just moments away from his fourth title defense in his locker room, and that's his manager, Mike Jones. Gloves being taped by the trainer, Victor Valley. And now let's rejoin the ring here at Madison Square Garden for the decision.
Well, they're waiting to get the cards added up, and I believe, well, they do have it.
Let's hear it for these two fighters. Let's hear it.
That's Emil Griffith.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the winner by decision, Wilfred Benitez.
Well, there's really little question about the outcome of this fight. The only question is, was it unanimous or split? I think it was a fairly well unanimous decision. In fact, it was.
I appreciate
Wilfred Benitez decided to address the crowd here.
Me fighting again at the Madison Square Garden. Really, I'm very happy to be again at the stadium of Madison Square Garden, and let you know that I was born here in New York. And I raised in Puerto Rico, and island that I watch so much, and I like fighting in New York, and God bless you all because God has made me winner again. God bless you.
The flair for the dramatics from Wilfred Benitez, who won this fight decisively. Well, at least the judges' cards were pretty well in tune with ours. 7-3, 7-3, and 8-2. It was a pretty good boxing lesson for one Kevin Moley tonight.
Wilfred earned his moment in the sun there here in Madison Square Garden.
That's Emil Griffith immediately to his left. And we've got the main event upcoming in just a moment. Billy Costello